morning. My name is Kusma and he is my teammate Sahil. Our SIC capstone project is deepfake and morphed content detection. Deepfake and morphed content detection refers to the process of identifying the mitigating and harmful deepfake videos or images. Basically, what is deepfake? Deepfake are the media files or the events which are being manipulated by the artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms to create the more real looking images or videos which are actually not present in the current situation. The algorithms used to generate the deepfakes can be autoencoders or general adversarial network. So they provide the highly convincing realistic images.
So deepfake have been in existence from more than 1 decade. Like it took entire studio for creating the deepfake videos. We have been using in movies from like early 90s. But what is special right now or why it is concerning right now? You can see the graph at the left side which shows the rise in AI technology and the efficiency and the increase of computation power and reduce of price needed to purchase all those tools. And the right side which indicates the interest of the people towards generation of this deepfake technology as well as open source tools available for generation of this. Now, before understanding how we detect the deepfakes, we need to understand how the deepfakes are generated. The most common approach would be using an autoencoder. So here we have used a variable autoencoder. First, in training phase, image is encoded into a latent feature. Latent feature in the sense image is represented in low level numerical format which includes all the facial feature, and then they are reconstructed, that is decoded back to the original face. That's how the model is trained. And during generation phase, during the latent feature phase, the values of numerical content are changed such that the deepfake video is generated or the deepfake content is generated. Now, this is not the only way to generate the deepfake. We have varieties of other ways. Introduction of models like GANs and diffusion models have made such an extent that detection of these content is very, very difficult. Now, how do we identify them? So, it was observed that all these models, although it is difficult for us to detect the deepfake videos by our eyes, this model can actually detect them. We use the same model to detect the deepfakes which was used for generation. This model, the generation model which used to create the deepfake, leaves some sort of fingerprints which is only identified by this model. Now, with reference to the previous slide, this is the paper where author basically tested that one of the model, that is GANs, leaves the fingerprints of the model. The fingerprints not only help us to detect whether videos is deepfake or not, it also help us to identify what type of model was used for the generation as well as the parameters and initialization used for generating those stuff. These fingerprints are distinct. It means that we could categorize them, which is basically help us to categorize whether the content is deepfake or not. That's a latent space representation. Now, that is not the only way. The limitation to these type of fingerprint is that it is specific to model. Means the detection algorithm need to have basic knowledge of all type of models that can be used for generating these deepfakes. Then there is another approach that is called as the basic analogy would be we couldn't detect or we couldn't catch the heartbeats from the video, but what we could do is we could take the signals which are close to the heartbeat from the video, analyze them and produce replicate the heartbeat. This technique is called as detect photopsychology, that is PPG for short. Now, GANs and diffusion models are unable to replicate this PPG as of now, so an attempt has been made to detect the deepfake using this model. This is the representation of how it is done. This is quite complex and not yet have been done in the world because it requires a lot of computation power both for training as well as doing it in the real time. But this could be a possibility unless an anti things comes for this. Now, what is our architecture for detecting the model? Before moving on to the model, we would be pre-processing our data. In the sense, we'll remove all the noise from the video. For example, hand movement, leg movement, the background, which is not required for us. All the thing which is required for detecting whether the content is fake or not is a facial data. So first thing we do is we crop all the frames from the video. That is simple, like taking a screenshot of each frame from the video. Later we'll take that screenshot and only crop the face part of the video, which is then fed to the model. Model itself contains two models combined in series. One is the ResNet CNN and then followed by the LSTM model. Then the end of LSTM model we have something called a softmax layer, which gives the prediction or binary classification whether the video is fake or not. So ResNet CNN is the traditional CNN has one problem, that is a vanishing gradient problem. If we stack more than one layer continuously, the weights are not updated in backward propagation. That leads to reduce of accuracy, or the model won't work that way. But in ResNet CNN we have something called a skip connection, where the same input which is fed to the upcoming layer is skipped and fed to the next to the upcoming layer, which solves the vanishing gradient problem as well as help us to increase the accuracy. The reason behind using the ResNet CNN model is we extract the facial data from all the data which is provided. Next, this facial data is fed to the LSTM model. So LSTM model is basically updated version of RNN, that is recurrent neural network. RNN has a problem, that is it doesn't have that memory to retain it for the longer period of time. For that, in LSTM we have a separate line for a long memory. This memory stores the details for a longer period of time until other important details come in for a change. Now the reason how we use the LSTM model, all the facial data will be fed into the LSTM model, and once in any one of the frame the fingerprints are detected as fake, it is exited and entire content is fed as fake.
The datasets used are Face Forensic and CelebDF and Kaggle's Deepfake Detection Challenge dataset. The dataset contains the three columns, mainly file name and the video file and the label. The label contains fake or real. In binary, if it is in binary format, if it is fake, it is represented with 0, and if it is real, it is represented with 1. First, in the code, we load the data set and we analyze it. First, using the glob, we extract the files which are with the specific pattern, which is whose extension is only MP4. And after that, we add a frame count as a list, where we extract each part of the video as a frame and we append it to the frame count, and we will find total number of frame count, how many frames each video has been generated, and we will save all the images which are extracted with the frame and yield as an image, and we will check for the validation of the video. If the video is having if the frame is not containing any content within it, then we will remove the frames if that does not has anything, and if the frame count is less than 20, then we'll remove that video since it does not have the enough content to process.
So in model training phase, first thing we do is check for the corrupted videos, because if one video is corrupted, then the model is stopped in between or something will happen to the accuracy. We'll just load that all the pre-processed video from the pre-processing stage and process it. If we encounter any error in between that, we just exit and state that particular video is corrupted. After that, we load the pre-processed video and do the basic analysis which we done in pre-processing state, that is counting number of frames, total number of videos available, and average frame count. By the way, we do shuffle the video after loading it. After that, we load the video name and the label from the CSV file. So along with the video, we have something called as this, where there is the name of the particular video and the label which tells whether the video is fake or not. After that, we load the label and dataset into the data loader Here we use the 80% of data for the training and the 20% of data for the validation. We use only validation for the test, and then we do the basic transformation, that is converting the image into PIL format, resizing the image into 112 cross 112. Later we convert these images into tensor and normalize this tensor's value. Later we load that into the data loader by giving the batch size as 4. In a sense, at a time 4 video will be processed in a model. Later we do initialize the model. First model we use a Resonance 50. This is a pre-trained model which we get from Torch Vision. We are using a PyTorch library for training the model. Then the Resonance model is fed as a sequential model from all the layer from starting to last two. Then that is followed by an LSTM model. There are few parameters which we are giving, that is number of hidden dimensional LSTM layer and so on, which is followed by a ReLU. Specifically we are using a leaky ReLU, followed by a dropout layer. We are using 40% as a dropout, followed by a fully connected layer. This is forward approach of this model. Then we are here training the epochies. Basically training process happens here for the specified epochie. We will be calculating the criterion is in the next cell, and the accuracy. Then we will be updating like we are doing the back propagation and optimization step. Then we will be saving model as .pt, that is a standard for saving the PyTorch model. Same as with the test data. Here the actual training start. We are given the Lailing race at 0.001. This is based on our choice. Best accuracy we got is with this. This is completely dependent on experimentation. The number of epochs is 20. We are using here Adam optimizer and the criterion as a cross entropy. Then we will be running the training phase, and hence we get the model. So, by the way, we have so the entire video is not tested. We take the particular sequence, in the sense number of frames. Selection of frame is also choice. We could select random frame as well as start from the first frames. We could try this with a fake video. So it will take around 2 minutes to detect whether the given content is fake or not. By then, the accuracy which we got till the 20 approaches is close to 90%, and the training loss is dramatically reduced. Even though approaches are very less, the accuracy standard is maintained. The reason for using the less approaches is that the training and processing phase of the videos takes longer time. So if approach is increased, the training phase is very long, which is compute expensive. So here the images are basically cropped. That is only we get the face images. That's how the images are stored and the model is stored. The prediction phase has started. The reason behind everything being slow is we are limited by the hardware capability. We need a stronger GPU and computation power to get this in less time. So These are all the crop. That is a given frame. The frame is split individually, like taking a screenshot, and this is a crop content from that frame. This is the result whether the given content is fake or not. So I have uploaded a fake video. By the way, the uploaded video was neither in the training data nor in the test data. That is completely individual. That's it.